Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Wind-Up with me, Helen Ashcroft. Now, our topic today is about cybercrime, which affects all of us, in case you didn't know. Now, I do have a guest who is an experienced person in cybercrime to help me today, and that's Ben Cooper from Netpoint Solutions. Hello, Ben.
Hi, Helen.
So, cybercrime, I keep hearing about it on the news, and there's this that happened and there's that happened, but what is actually cybercrime defined as?
Crime's changing. There is now more crime committed by someone sat behind a PC than there is in the street, for example. And it's enabled by the internet, and cyber criminals will use or they'll target phones. They're looking to take your data.
What sort of data?
Well, there's two angles here. There's personal and business.
Right.
Personal, for example, ultimately what they're looking to do is take your money. So emptying your bank account, cloning your credit card details. Those are examples.
And they can do that just from hacking. Is it called hacking? Hacking into your computer?
Hacking. Yeah. There's something called social engineering as well that they will use. That's where they target you via like social media sites. They'll learn about you, and they can try and guess your passwords, or they can try and gain your passwords and things like that using social media sites.
Now, somebody said to me recently that you're supposed to change your password frequently, and you're supposed to have different passwords, because if you imagine your house at home, or you've got a house, you've got an office, you've got a car, you wouldn't have one key that fitted everything. You'd have different keys, and that's a bit like your passwords on all these different sites. Is that right?
Yeah, quite right. It's the most, from a personal point of view, as opposed to business, it's the most obvious tip that I give to anybody, to have a good, strong password policy. That being, to have a good, strong password which involves uppercase, lowercase, numbers, special characters, and you should change that every 3 months. You should make sure that you change it every 3 months, and you should have a different password for every site.
Right, so nowadays people have internet banking, they will have social media accounts, they will have shopping accounts, different types, different shops. So are you supposed to have a different password for all of those, and how on earth can you remember them?
Yeah, is the answer to that question. If you want to have a really good, strong password policy, if you like, you should have a different one for each of them. How are you going to remember them? That's up to you.
Well, really, it is just a case of trying to remember them then, isn't it?
Yeah, or perhaps storing them somewhere safely on maybe an encrypted, with some level of encryption involved. You can maybe store it somewhere very, very safely. But I accept that it's difficult to remember 25 passwords if you've got God knows how many, but you should.
So in that instance then, if somebody has been subjected to crime on a large scale or on a smaller scale, is it the police that deal with this? What happens?
There are units. It's not for me to answer what the police can or can't do about it, but ultimately the big thing is education and highlighting trends and awareness. That's the big thing that not just police but business can do for people as well. In terms of what they can do in terms of making arrests and charges and things like that, it's not for me to answer that question. But
no, I appreciate that. And I mean, like you're saying, there are things that me as an individual, but me as a business owner can do to put things in place. So are there opportunities for classes? Are there courses? Are there events around cyber crime and preventing it in your situation, your personal situation?
Yeah, it's one of the things that we are starting to do.
Right.
We're going to be running cyber security events in conjunction with local law enforcement. We've got the regional cybercrime unit for the Yorkshire and Humber that we're working with together to put these events on, the first of which is upcoming Friday the 10th of February this year. And what we will do at the event is we aim to educate the local business community to let them know firstly what are the risks, what are the measures that you can put in place to lessen the chances of you becoming a victim, and if the worst does happen, what you can do about it.
And is this just for businesses, or can individuals who aren't in business come on your events?
This particular event that we're running, it is aimed at the local business community.
Right.
So it wouldn't be quite right for individuals who want to come and learn how to better protect their mobile phones, for example.
Yeah.
It is specifically for business.
So these events, where did you say it was being held, the one in February?
The event in February will be at Junction 25 Conference Centre, which is just off Junction 25 of the M62 in Brighouse.
And how would businesses be able to find out more information if that's what they need, or book on?
There are a few options here. You can go onto our website, and there is a dedicated area purely for the cybersecurity seminar. That's netpointsolutions.co.uk /cyber security seminar, or you can go onto Eventbrite. It's all registered on there. It's also posted regularly on our social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, etc.
Now, it's interesting because as we're talking and I'm saying, you know, does this happen frequently? I've been, I think, a subject of cybercrime personally because somebody was using my bank details for online shopping. Would that be classed as a cybercrime?
Yes, it is. It's fraud, yeah.
Right. Yeah, apparently I was in the Maldives buying things. Actually, in the Maldives itself, when in actual fact I was sat in my office in Huddersfield.
Yeah,
So,
quite commonplace, that type of attack.
really?
Yeah.
So I think it's really important. I mean, obviously, 99% of the community now have access to the internet or to mobile phones, and I think to protect themselves is key nowadays, isn't it?
Absolutely. Modern technology it's moving at such a fast pace, and everybody thinks it's wonderful. Everybody wants to embrace it. Of course we do. We all want the latest iPhone. Everybody does. But what we must also embrace are the responsibilities that come with it.
Yeah.
And the first step is to know the risks. And unfortunately, there seems to be a real lack of knowing what those risks are. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help businesses, individuals to learn what the risks are so they can then better protect themselves. Because there are simple measures that can be put in place. Very cost-effective, simple measures.
But they're only simple if you know. And if
Absolutely.
you don't know what you don't know. So I think it
That's
takes
quite
an
right.
event like Netpoint Solutions are running for businesses to be able to see what could happen, but what they can do to stop it happening.
We encourage the local business community to come along because the majority of the victims, or the majority of the cases of cybercrime, they are avoidable with simple measures. But as you've very rightly said, if people don't know to do these things, then they're not going to do them. But come along and learn what it is you need to do. It's not going to cost you anything, but if you do it, then you are less likely to become a victim.
So thank you so much, Ben. It's been really informative. A bit scary about finding out what could happen, but it's nice to know that there's some support there, and I think that seminar is going to be good and interesting.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Ben.
Thank you, Helen.
Remember, we can be contacted by the usual means here at KLTV. So that's it from me today. I'd like to thank everybody behind the scenes who've been able to make this programme possible. That's me, Helen Ashcroft, signing off. Goodbye.
Kirklees.